Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to episode 47 of The Angry Chicken, a podcast about Hearthstone. I am Garrett Weinzierl, and I'm joined, as always, by Whitley Dills Gregory and Miss Jocelyn Moffat. Guys, how are you doing this week? It was quite the weekend for Hearthstone Esports.
That was too much almost to watch.
No.
I was super impressed though with the level of just quality, not only in the production values, but the casters, the players, the games, all of it was insane. Some of the longest games I've ever watched, but kind of edge of your seat type of stuff. It was really cool.
Some real good stuff.
Yeah.
Jocelyn, how are you doing? I know you're in the middle of like a move. So
yeah, I am. I'm moving tomorrow night. Super stoked.
It's always hectic.
But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Nice.
And I watched like probably about half of the qualifiers, I guess. I watched mostly when I left work and then watched on the bus. So I saw like group C and D.
Nice.
I missed like all of A and B because they were playing while I was at work. It was lame.
Nice.
It may be a bad idea for me to share this, but I got in my car to leave work, and I was watching. It was still on when I left work, and I didn't want to miss it, so I pulled my phone up, and I have like a little GPS thing.
Oh,
and
you
I just
didn't.
put it on, and then I Bluetoothed it into my speakers, and I didn't like watch, but you could hear the casters talking about it. So it was like I was. And then when I got to like a red light, I could look up and see what the board state was like, and what they had in their hands. But it was actually pretty sweet.
This was so close to being an amazing story, where a police officer pulls you over and says, "Son, do you know why I pulled you? Wait a second, is that Trump?" Sorry, Trump didn't play,
awesome.
but
he goes over and he's like, "Oh man, it's Control Priest against Control Warrior. This is gonna take forever."
Or no, better. Cool. Sorry, Trump didn't play. It better would have been. Wait a minute, Reyna didn't make it. I was gonna let you off with a warning, but I'm just so angry. Here's a ticket.
He went to EU to get away from Tides of Time, but he didn't. I guess maybe he didn't realize that the other players were also really good over there. So it's not an easy pass going to EU.
No, not at all, not at all. Well, got a couple things at the top of the show before we get into it. For all of our patrons out there, tomorrow, so September 30th. Obviously, if you're listening to this on podcast, the day it came out, it'll be tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing our Patreon Hangout episode. That's where you guys call us on Skype, and we do an extra episode of The Angry Chicken where it's just Q&A with the three of us. You can ask us Hearthstone questions, or you can ask us non-Hearthstone questions. We're okay with that, too.
Pretty much whatever.
We don't judge you. I had a dude calling last time, just wonder what guitar I had.
I was going to say, yeah, some of the best questions we've ever had have been non-Hearthstone questions.
Yeah.
Not that the guitar question was great, because I was just like, glaze over.
I just need to teach you an instrument, Jocelyn.
No.
But yeah, all of the
ukulele. I could see Jocelyn rocking the ukulele.
Do you think so?
Yeah. And calling it ukulele, too.
Oh, you know me so well.
Like, just playing my ook. Don't worry about me.
Yeah. So anyways, all of the details for that are over at patreon.com/TAC, where you can, get on, send us contact requests and whatnot so that Skype doesn't screw up. Go check out the details over there. It's pretty simple. And I wanted to give a shout out to a listener of the show, Aaron, who I actually met this weekend, went out for some dinner with him and his wife, had a really great time, and he just didn't have enough nice things to say about our show, and he wanted to make sure I told you, Dills, and you, Jocelyn, that he really appreciates what we do, and he's the owner of a massive comic store in Orlando.
Cool.
And he was
so cool.
Down in my area, and he was just like, "Hey, shall we get dinner?" And I was like, "Yes." So talked about Magic, talked about what comics we're reading, which, by the way, everyone should go read Saga if you're not, because it is the best comic ever.
I am not. Well, you know what? While we're shouting out TAC listeners that we met, Dwayne met me at game night on Thursday, and we played a bunch of Magic. We played Magic all night, and then he was like, "All right, I can't leave without playing some Hearthstone." So we popped open our iPads, and I helped him draft a pretty good deck, and we had a blast. We hung out for a good 6 or 7 hours. Got pretty drunk. So good times, Dwayne.
As one does over the course of 7 hours.
But we played it all. We did 3-man commander. We did just some constructed play. We did some other 3-man. I met a bunch of dudes. One guy with a super sweet mustache named Jeremy, who he played with us for a little while. It was a lot of fun. So shout out to him.
Awesome. Jocelyn, you're just like, nah.
She didn't meet up with anybody.
No one
I
did.
haven't met anybody.
No
cool.
one to shout. Well, that's BlizzCon's right around the corner. We're just gonna be like, shout out, shout out, shout
Yeah,
out. I met
out.
Mickey Mouse. I met Pluto.
Collective shout out.
He signed my book. It's a big paw
Exactly.
print. It's awesome.
I can't wait to meet Christy Golden.
Oh,
Squeal
yeah.
a little.
I'm on a mission to find the voice actor of Jim Raynor this year because every year I miss him.
Oh.
Mr. Robert Clotworthy. I want to get a picture with him this year. But
I just want to grab beer
You
with
should
Ben
get a
Brode.
video of him saying something.
well, I have like a 90-minute interview with him from Starcast, so that's okay.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
I have plenty
Something.
of things of him saying things.
Actually, you know what? Not just beer with Ben Brode. I want shots with Brode and Woo. That's what I want.
Yes.
Mm, I am down with that. I may have a beer
Shots
because
with
I'm
the
lame,
woo-woo.
but yeah. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the news in Hearthstone this week.
Good news, everyone!
Good news indeed at DreamHack this past weekend. We had the next stage of our Blizzard, our Hearthstone World Championship EU qualifiers, and we have our 4 finalists. Guys, are you excited?
Yeah.
Do we need to
absolutely.
do like a spoiler warning? Like every now and then I hear from like one person who's just like, "Hey, I was watching VODs," but I don't know. We kind of have to talk about this.
We do have to talk about it, but I think spoiler warning is fair.
Okay, so for whatever reason
Yeah,
you're watching
spoiler
VODs.
warning.
run
There
away
was
now.
there was a lot of content. Some of those games went really long. There was one night where they were up until like 3 or 4 a.m. casting. Like they went on
Yeah.
forever.
And then
so
they went to bed and came back the next day
yeah,
bright and early to do more of it. So
the Hearthstone emblem with that what is that, like a 9-pointed star or whatever, is like burned into their eyes. You look in their retinas and that's all you see.
yeah, it was a brutal schedule for the players, and I think a lot of the players hung out and watched all the games they weren't involved in too. Some of them took off and rested a little bit, but some of them, apparently Colento, hung out all day and night and just hung around the venue, which was actually really well set up, even though there wasn't a lot of people there. It seemed very private. It was just for the Twitch viewership, really.
Yeah, it definitely seemed that way. I mean, you could hear the DreamHack audience in the background the whole time.
Yeah. But it just seemed like a small, I don't know, you never really saw, like, did you watch today, the OGN thing? It
No.
was China?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
So that one, the massive audience was going off every single time. Every draw, they were freaking out. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, by the way, if everyone listening and you're still on the fence about this esports stuff, you need to go see a live event of any esport. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're mildly interested in the professional playing of any video game, you should go find an event. Go to an MLG, go to a Red Bull Battlegrounds, whatever you can find in your area. If you're in South Korea, I'm super, super jealous of all the StarCraft going on
You
over
get
there.
to go to everything.
Yeah, but go to a live event because it'll make a believer out of you. They're amazing. Every one I've been to has been awesome, except maybe the BlizzCon finals last year. But even then, people were excited.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was awesome. This year's going to be insane, though.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, anyways,
No pirate decks this year, and if they are, they're going to be thoroughly tested on the ladder. So.
Yeah. Anyways, our 4 European finalists are I'm not going to pronounce this first one correctly. Kaor?
Sure.
I think it's core.
Core? Okay. Core is better. Number Guy, Green Sheep, and of course, Colento.
Yes.
All moving on.
Yeah. All hail Colento. He's ridiculous. I don't even understand. If you watch the one where he 3-0'd with, well, he didn't 3-0. He was down 0-2, and he was facing the Aggro Mage deck, which we're going to talk about later, and his only deck left was Handlock. And then he somehow turned that around, which is ridiculous. That deck is supposed to crush Handlock. It basically just, Handlock cannot beat that deck. But Colento found a way, so he's insane.
Yeah.
And he did have the advantage of knowing that was the deck. So he mulliganed away like a mountain giant and stuff like that. He knew he had to play stuff early to keep up. But still, it's a deck that relies on life tapping, and that's just playing right into the hands of that Mage deck. It's like, oh, you want to take your own life away? Cool. That means my fireballs kill you faster.
Yeah, and while I was very much rooting for Colento, going into it, there were quite a few players here that I was not familiar with, and I think a lot of us were not familiar with. I was a little disappointed that Mr. Yagut did not make it through. Because
no.
did you see
He was
his
so
games?
good.
Did you see Group C?
And you know, I really enjoyed him because not really so much his interviews. He was so
He was
awkward.
awesome. I loved him. Oh man, I wanted to see him be interviewed at the end of the whole thing. That was great.
Would have been exactly the same.
I want to Twitch stream from that guy like all day, every day.
Well, and see, that was the thing, is that he seemed to make some really, really interesting decisions, but considering he doesn't actually stream, they were totally new. Like even the commentators were like, "Oh yeah, he could do this thing, this thing, this thing," and then he did something completely different, and they were like, "What?" And then he'd like win the game and like blow out the other guy. Oh man, he was so entertaining to watch.
That would have been actually Dill's the probably the most fun group to listen to audio wise in your car, just to watch Artosis stumble over himself casting. Well, doing exactly what Jocelyn just said. Oh man, just watching Artosis just be like, you know what? I give up. I don't know what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I love it. It's wonderful.
No, it was great because you watch the style of casting has now become let's predict what they're going to do, which I feel like at some point it's going to evolve from that. But, Hearthstone has a lot of downtime, especially in these tournaments. So you might as well kind of, try to figure out what's going through their minds and what plays they might do. And they never got it right every single time. It's like, oh, probably do this. Wait, why did he do that? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Why would he do that? And yeah, it was really entertaining to watch that.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank McBeard in the chat room for resurrecting my tweet over the weekend that said Mr. Geekgut just took the meta out back and shot it.
Best tweet ever.
Well,
I was like,
his
I
decks
can't
were
favorite this enough.
His decks were fairly similar to what you see, but just the
Just
style,
the way
he
he
played them out.
Yeah, exactly. That was the interesting thing, especially after we talked about the Brian Kibler article and how I was, at least what he wrote made a lot of sense to me. It was getting me down on this deck elimination format a bit. It was nice to see this guy just come in and okay, I've seen these decks a million times, but I have not seen them played like this. This is now interesting again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of room for that. I think that at this point, like any game that develops a metagame, people will kind of follow the trends and they see something work for one guy and then they just go, okay, that's how I'll have my playstyle go. But it's true that this game is still young enough that I'm sure there's a lot of players out there who are doing things on a next level that we haven't even thought about how you could maneuver through a game in that fashion. So it was cool to finally see that represented.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a really good time watching this. Had it on just kind of in the background all, every day I was running, but really, really clung to those Mr. Good matches. But there was some good Hearthstone to be seen.
Yeah, and the finals, Thiz and Kalento, that was pretty epic too. So enjoyed that one.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
No, they were saying on this cast.
Did they pronounce it? I'm not wrong. They pronounce it Tice, right?
Oh, Tice, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Dude, it's like Savit. It's like it looks like Savages, and even Artosis calls him Savages. Correct. So,
but yeah, that they were saying like this could be the finals of the whole thing, and that wouldn't surprise anybody, and because those two players are both insane.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, go check it out. We've got links in the show notes over at amove.tv/TAC to all the VODs for all 3 days. Deck lists are showing up everywhere over on Hearthhead, over on Hearthpwn. Go check it out. Anyways, another news this week, Blizz wants to support your Fireside Gathering. So if you're planning one, or if you've done one in the past and are planning another, make sure to head on over to the official Hearthstone site and check it out, because they're giving a support pack to X amount of Fireside Gatherings, which include all kinds of Hearthstone swag, like those Hearthstone pillows that I really want.
Oh, I want all of this. That swirl mug is awesome.
Yeah, I want the mug.
Now you just gotta host the Fireside Gathering.
Well, I think the idea is to give them away, not just keep them. But
we'll see, and that's
way to
the
yourself
thing.
if you win. You set up a little tournament or something,
I'm
and then
going
you
to
win
host
it.
it.
And it's like, cool, thanks for that pillow.
It's gonna be invitational, and I'm gonna make sure to screen everyone who applies and make sure they're all like rank 24.
Yeah, there you go.
Increase
And then
my
you just
chances of
crush
winning
them.
this wonderful swag. Or you could just buy the pillow from their store.
That's true. That's the other option.
Yeah.
Seems like less fun though. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to wait till BlizzCon. Shipping to Canada is so bad. You get dinged at the border like crazy on stuff like this.
Mm.
Oh, really?
My Zergling cost me like $20 at the border.
Damn.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Brutal.
that's what I'm saying.
rough. It was like, I think, what was it? It was like I shipped out those Hearthstone coins. I think it was like $5 to send them each for the 2 that went out of the country. This is rough.
Wow. So congratulations, bastards. This is really, really cool that they're doing this, though. I love this because, when they first announced the Fireside Gatherings, there was quite a lot of excitement and buzz around it. And it's petered off just a touch because, there's a lot of other stuff going on with Hearthstone. But people are still doing them all the time. You just aren't hearing about them. Well, now this is just kind of is going to revitalize that, and I think a lot more people are going to jump on this. And
yeah, I
just again points to Blizzard supporting the hell out of everybody.
Yeah. This is exactly one way to get folks excited is to send prizes of Fireside Gatherings. I would love to see them add more in-game incentives. Not like every week or every month, but maybe like every 3 to 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some kind of new thing for participating in a Fireside Gathering, even if it's just a card that already exists, but maybe give us like the golden version of it.
Sure.
The thing that they haven't introduced in Hearthstone, which is very popular in something like Magic the Gathering, is the idea of like these dated, like they're stamped with a date from for the event that you participated in.
Mm.
And it's a card that is very easy to find, or usually it's like a rare. And you get the foil version, and it's stamped with the date of the event you participated in. And I would love to see something like that in Hearthstone.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And when you flip it over and everything, it's like, oh, that's an extra special one.
Yeah, exactly. You mouse over and it's just, I don't know, got a little golden date on it or something.
Sure,
That way you don't
really cool.
need to develop new cards or new card backs. You just give us like a little variant of a card that exists. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
But
I like that idea a lot.
yeah, I got a couple of them from the Cons of Turkir sets, the pre-release
Oh
events.
yeah, did you go to any of that stuff?
It was 2 weeks ago, and I completely forgot. I thought it was this past weekend. But my buddy,
this past weekend was the actual release, right? And
this past weekend was the physical
stuff was
release.
going on.
Yeah, and then this Friday is the online release and my Orlando Grand Prix, which I'm going to, which I'm very excited about.
Ah, yes. Good luck in that, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks. But we, my buddy Aaron, who I met over the weekend, since he owns a comic store, I bought a couple extra tournament packs from him, and that's what Katie and I played with over the weekend.
Nice.
So big thanks to him for tracking those down for me. Anyways. That about does it for this week's Light News Week, but let's talk some Aggro Mage.
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
So, Dills.
Yes.
School us.
You want to get schooled on the Aggro Mage? Well, me and Jocelyn just played some games with it before we started. And basically the idea here is that there is... so Hunter went away, and it's not fully away. I mean, we all know there's still ways to play it. Somebody I think it was Era, got to rank 1 with a Hunter deck that basically took the combo out, went more of an aggro route, and put in some other ways to draw cards and stuff. So it's gone completely, but you see a lot less of them because it's not an easy deck anymore. There's not like a built-in combo that suddenly wins you the game anymore. You gotta kind of work your way through and get the damage in. But because you see less Hunters, it's opened up a lot of other decks. So Handlock came back in a big way. You started to see... I'm seeing actually a lot of less Control Warriors because it's a very control-y style meta right now. So Control Warrior basically means you're always up against another control deck. The games take forever. There's more priests, which can also be like kind of it's like never quite perfect, So I'm starting to think that maybe an aggro deck would be good. And then we watched that EU, Road to BlizzCon, and the Fishow, I'm going to say the Fishu, I don't know.
Fishu.
The Fishu. Okay. He was playing this Aggro Mage deck, and Aggro Mage it's not like it's a brand new thing. It's been around for a while. But the deal with Aggro Mage is that it's gotten stronger with some of these Naxx cards, and in the current meta, it actually can work really well because you can burn out all these handlocks who life tap themselves to oblivion, and then you just fireball them to the face. Mage is they're a little bit unique in the fact that they have a lot of burn in just the spells. So rather than having to rely on, say, the Leroy, well, you don't need that. You've got Frostbolt, double Ice Lance, which is just a ton of, it's 11 damage or whatever just for those 3 cards. And if you can get like a Blood Mage on board, you're talking about 14 damage. So it's just a lot of ways to kind of burn people out really quickly. And this deck is kind of built around that.
Yeah, it works because it also doubles for removal if you're in a real bad spot.
Yeah, and people who were watching my stream earlier, and Jocelyn, you saw sometimes I had to fireball something. on the
It was
board.
so depressing.
Yeah, you don't want to. You try to avoid doing that. But so I mean, I'll just kind of go through what the deck really does. Like, so this deck has a lot of one drops, and the one drops build on themselves. So you've got things like Mana Worm, you've got the Undertaker, and you can basically, once you get those out, you can kind of start pumping them up with the rest of your cards. So if you can do like the Mana Worm coin mirror image play on turn 1 if you're going second, and that just kind of blows people out of the water when you do that. It's really hard to lose at that point. There's also Undertaker. You could do Undertaker, coin Leper Gnome, Undertaker into Loot Hoarder. There's a lot of cards that have, you've got the Mad Scientist to get the free spells. There's a lot of ways to pump those early one drops up and get 6 to 8 to 9, 10 damage out of your one drop, which if you can do that, it's just, you've got all the early damage in to set up for your
It looks like there's 7 Death Rattle minions?
Yeah, because you've also got the Blood Mage Thalnos in there.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's why you don't have an even number.
Yeah, so, and that's actually the only legendary as well. There's that one legendary and then 2 rares. So if you think about that, so 1 rare is Counterspell, and the other is Knife Juggalo, and that's it. Outside of that, everything else is common.
What a mega cheap deck.
Yeah, so it's really, really cheap to make. I think actually, so Hearthhead gives you the cost here, and it is, let's see, 2,440 dust. So that is really low. Most of that going to the Blood Mage. So,
so then I'm going to jump in. If you don't have Blood Mage like me, then what would you replace that with? Like more spell damage or card draw?
The Kobold Geomancer is fine if you feel like that's the Blood Mage is not really replaceable in the same sense that some of the other legendaries are, because it does so many different things. It's a Loot Hoarder combined with a Kobold. So that's a little bit also, it's got the Death Rattle, so it pumps up your Undertaker. So it does a lot of things in this deck, but you could get away with the Kobold just fine, I think. It's it's still a 2 mana, give you spell damage, and that's ultimately it's I would say it's number 1 benefit, but this deck gets a little bit card draw light in a lot of ways, and so it really helps to have that. So it's a fairly common legendary to have, I think, because it's been used so prevalently in so many other decks.
Unless you're me.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of the ones that you more likely are going to have than say some of the other ones. Yeah.
Jocelyn, have you not listened to this podcast called The Angry Chicken, where multiple times people have asked what legendaries that we think they should absolutely craft? Because I'm pretty sure Thalnos has been in my top 3 every time we've been asked that.
Yeah, we say that one a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't had a whole lot of dust, and most of the stuff that I get has been opening packs. So.
Well, I have a golden one.
Maybe I can get rid of Leroy and do this one instead. You
can actually do that right now, because this deck does not use Leroy at all. And if you decide later you want Leroy again, he costs the same that you got back, so that could work out. Some of the key plays here, though, too, are things like if you get your Mad Scientist out and then you get your Counterspell for free. Counterspell is not really that good because sometimes it counters a spell that kind of sucks. You spend 3 mana to cast it, and then they, do something like an Innervate or something, and you're like, crap, I just basically wasted it. I didn't really gain tempo from that. But when you get them for free, and then you have a lot of minions on the board, and then you counter, say, a Swipe or a Holy Nova or a Brawl or some kind of big board clear, you protect your minions. And so that's one of the downfalls of a lot of aggro decks, is that once you get AoE'd one time, you're done. You just can't come back from that, So this deck has a little bit of a built-in mechanism to deal with the fact that people are going to try to do big AoEs and wipe your board. So that's pretty nice. And when you can get it for free, it's insane. Basically, okay, so here's the deal. Get your 1-drops early game. Go to the face a lot. Only trade if it's going to keep your minions alive for more face damage. You kind of have to calculate, if I trade, am I gaining damage by that or am I losing damage? If you're going to lose overall damage, you don't do it. You just go face. And then get to mid-game, and they're usually down around 12 or so, and then you can Fireball, Frostbolt, Ice Lance. Dead. Easy. And that's it. It's like, I don't know, I guess, okay, so it is tricky. I shouldn't make it sound that easy. It's tricky because you are constantly calculating the exact amount of damage you have and whether or not you should be trading. So,
Right, it's a weird deck compared to what we've seen most of the time, because a lot of time your rules in Hearthstone is, well, clear his board, then do stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's actually, okay, so we should talk about this real quick. A lot of people talk about aggro decks as if they're brainless, mindless, go to the face, any idiot can play this deck. And after playing this game for a long time, I just have to disagree vehemently with that statement. Like, it's really difficult to play aggro because a lot of times the amount of damage you have is finite, and you have to make sure you find a way to get that through without dying yourself, right? So you're always kind of on the edge of the correct move is going to the face or the correct move is trading, and it's never fully clear. Whereas, say, with a control deck, you always know you're going to be clearing the board. It's just a matter of how do I do it. That's really the decision, is in what manner do I do it? And I always have tools to do it. With this deck, you're not going to have tools to clear the board, so you're going to have to decide which guy you got to get rid of, and when is it appropriate to go for the face, when is it appropriate to make the trade. And that's actually really difficult. It's not an easy thing. It's not a perfect science at all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a catch-all lesson in Hearthstone if you're new, or even if you've been playing for a while, is knowing when to make that decision regardless of the deck. Yeah,
exactly. I'll also point this out. If someone's playing against you with this deck, if you can use your heals at the right time, you will blow them out. So if you are like today, I was playing against the Druid, and I kind of had to make a decision at some point that I just need to use all my burn, and then I'm going to have to draw something. That's the only way I'm going to win, right? So I use up all my burn spells that I have in my hand, get him down to like 6, and then Ancient Allure heals himself for 5. I cannot win anymore. So the key to playing against aggro in a lot of ways, when it's not necessarily all minion based aggro like Zoo, is to find the key moments to use the things like the heals or the big taunts and stuff like that. One thing that this deck does really well, though, is it doesn't care that you put up a taunt at the end. It's just that's not what's going to stop it. So it's a really fun deck. I recommend people try it out if they're trying to figure out a way to play a deck in this current meta. It's just going to catch a lot of things off guard, and you'll be able to just burn people out before they can get to you.
Cool. Well,
I just wanted to quickly point out something in the chat room. KevBK or KevBeck says that when we're talking about it being a cheap deck, we should point out that there are Naxx cards in here. So if you haven't bought Naxx, then it's not that cheap of a deck. Factors into the
it's
cost.
Still cheaper than buying like
it is. It's
40,
in terms of dust,
40
it's cheap, but you do have to have Naxx to play it.
That's a good point. Yeah, because you really need that Undertaker and the Mad Scientist, and yeah. But I mean, that's actually, those are the only 2, right? What other ones are there? So you got
there's one more, but maybe not.
Undertaker, Mad Scientist, and no, that's it. That's all the Naxx cards. Yeah. So you're not using Duplicate or anything like that. So. And I actually toyed around with using Duplicate instead of Mirror Entity, but the reason I decided to go with Mirror Entity here, and I think this is why the Fishu would do it too, is that what it does essentially is copy a minion, and then you get to attack straight away with that minion, which usually leads to some more damage, whatever amount of damage that is. And then it's basically, if you only use one spell, one type of secret, then people just know that that's always that type of secret, and maybe they don't play around, or maybe they always play around that, So it's good to always have at least one other kind to make it at least somewhat of a guess.
Yeah, it looks like looking at this deck, it looks like a nice little garnish just for that reason.
Yeah, and it's like in a game I just played, I got a Sludge Belcher out of it, so it's people can play around it obviously, but if they always know it's counterspell when the secret hits, then they just always play around counterspell, and that's not it's not very good. So put in one other thing, and this seems to be the one that makes the most sense. And sometimes you get a nice minion, and you get to attack right away with it. So pretty good.
I support Mirror Entity over Duplicate also. So
yeah,
let's get on that.
If you guys want to check it out, go to hearthhead.com. It's the top one. It's called the Burn Shall Burn You, because it's just a burn deck. So leave your comments. Let me know if you've played a deck similar to this. What cards you may change out for different ones, and the experience you've had playing it. So
hearing from you. Is this your favorite deck at the moment, Dills?
I don't know if I'd call it my favorite, but it's really interesting to play because again, there's so many decisions to make, and it always feels like if I make the wrong decision, I will not be able to burn them out. So, sometimes I play a deck and I played it so much that I just get kind of mindless when I play it, and I just know the correct thing to do, and not necessarily like always. I mean, I could go different routes, I'm sure, but you get into kind of a play style with a deck. And so this deck, it's new to me right now. I haven't played a lot of Mage. It feels good to be playing Mage when nobody else really is. And it feels interesting. So yeah, I'm into it right now.
Yeah, I've never honestly been that into Mage. It's always been in probably the bottom 3 for me. Jocelyn, what about you, just in general? I mean, obviously I know you played a little bit of this tonight with Dills, but...
It looks like a really fun deck. I've always been a little bit partial to Mage. It was like... Hunter was always obviously my go-to, but I really like Mage because that's what they start you off with, right? So, it was a lot of fun. I like it. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm really, really seriously now thinking I'm going to disenchant my Leroy and make a Blood Mage just to play this deck.
Do it. He fits into so many awesome decks anyway. Love me some freaking Blood Mage. Using him in my... I ripped off someone's Shaman deck from the EU qualifiers over the weekend. I forget which one. Who's the green dude? What's his name?
The Korean dude? Crap.
Oh. I thought you said the green dude. I was like, what?
I thought green was in his name or something. I might be thinking of the wrong guy, though.
The green dude. No, I don't know the green dude.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't...
Green
Sheep.
Green Sheep. I'm playing, I believe, Green Sheep's Shaman deck at the moment. Been having some fun with it. Yeah. Yeah, it's got
Shaman's pretty good again too, because the problem for Shaman was the Blizzard Unleash. You put all these totems out, and then you're just giving them cards. So
and also Alakir plus anything has always been a pretty decent finisher, and now with Leroy not being as attractive.
Yeah, that's true. It's now set up as one of the better finishers in the deck. And you also still have now. I'm starting to see people run Alakir and Doomhammer, whereas before I was always pick one and go.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing both of them in there.
I really like that in this deck because obviously the Doomhammer can come out significantly earlier than the Alakir.
Yeah, it can come out earlier. It can protect, kind of keep your board up, and then you can still use the Alakir later to finish people off. So, yeah, it's nice. It gives you a couple of win conditions rather than only relying on the single one.
Yeah, exactly. I've also had just Alakir just save my butt before, and just like, well, I just need a buffer because I'm a shaman and I can't heal.
Yeah. Well, I feel like shamans should heal. It's weird, right? That they don't.
I think it is quite. I agree with you. I think it's very strange that they have no class-specific healing abilities.
I would like to see a chain heal where you heal yourself and it's like kind of a swipe where you heal yourself and your minions get a little bit too. Like it chains through some minions. That could be pretty sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Like the chain heal to me as a WoW player has always been such a staple of being a shaman.
Sure.
I don't know. I'd love to see that represented in Hearthstone. I think it could be a really interesting. I'd love to see how they would do it.
Yeah. And what's the spell where they splash you with water? You know what I'm talking about? It's like an instant heal that then does heal over time.
I don't remember, man. The funny thing is...
something Tide or something like that.
I think this came up at Nerdtacular. Everyone was just like, oh, Gary, you must play a shaman in WoW because you're such a fanboy in Hearthstone. I'm like, actually, I've never had a shaman. Always raided with them. Never. I would love that you could look this up just because now it's like stuck in your brain.
All right, I'm looking this up. I'm sure chat room's gonna
Healing Tide.
Before I do.
They're saying
Riptide
and Healing Tide.
No, Riptide, that's the one.
Riptide. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you, folks.
Now it's just gonna be Riptide in the chat room for the next 2 minutes while it catches up.
Oh, nice. Well, cool. Everyone out there, go try your Aggro Mages. Tweet at us at TAC Podcast. Write us emails. Let us know how you're liking it. Let's take a crazy game story.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
You can send your crazy game stories to tacpodcast@gmail.com. And our first one today comes to us. Well, the only one we're going to read today, because sometimes they get lengthy. So let that be a lesson to all of you. Keep them short. Better chance of having them get in here. Keep them short and keep them funny. Anyway,
Short and funny.
Zeroshio wrote in and said, yesterday, just after the Leroy nerf, I decided to make a fun deck. It did very well in casual, so I decided to try it on the ladder between ranks 10 and 8. I was playing against a warrior, going first. Here is my game. Turn 1, Innervate plus Cold Light Oracle, giving my opponent 6 cards in his hand. Opponent turn 1, draws a card, card 7. Coin plus Loot Hoarder, ending his turn with 5 cards in hand. Turn 2, I play Naturalize and Loot Hoarder, causing 3 cards into his hand. Innervate plus King Mukla. He now has a full hand with 2 bananas. Opponent turn 2, draw card 11, which happened to be Ragnaros, which immediately is burned. My opponent emotes threaten and then promptly concedes. So far, I am 13 and 3 on the ladder. I am not confident it will last very long, but it is super fun to play.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, what rank are you at? He said 10 to 8.
10 to 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the end of his email said he ended up at 8.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's. I mean, okay. There's nothing more fun than taking a weird deck into actual ranked play and actually winning with it. It is the funnest thing ever. I mean, I've played my milkshake deck several times on actual ranked games and pulled out wins, and yeah, it's really satisfying.
I think it is high time for a repost of your milkshake deck, Dills, because I feel like it's been so long since we actually talked about what it actually is that you need to post it somewhere again for folks.
I should probably revisit it because I haven't even messed around with it. I'm sure there's new things I can do in there that would be really good. But,
I don't think. I mean, Naxxramas didn't bring in any more mind control-y cards, so I'm not sure it's really in the spirit of your I drink your milkshake.
I'm gonna shout out Karma, who's in the chat room. She's mad because I posted a Burn Mage deck and she plays Handlock. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then Trump is in chat. So what's up, Trump? Shout out. He probably doesn't care what article I posted.
And by the way, did you guys see Trump's video that he posted yesterday?
Oh, it was really good.
Yeah, you should both go watch it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I really liked it actually. I did watch it.
Is that the actual Trump?
What's that?
Is that the actual Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, hey man, welcome.
Trump SC.
Thanks for coming.
We're just gonna pause the show right now.
Yeah, just shout out.
Well, when Dill says it casually, I just assume it's some moron who had a doppelganger account. Anyways, thanks for your crazy game stories, Zeroshio. And again, send them to tacpodcast@gmail.com, folks. And that's also where you can send your emails, which we're about to take.
Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
Emails, send them to the same place. Our first email today comes to us from Prince Boot, who says...
Boot. Great name.
Hey, insert clever chicken pun. Watching the Hearthstone EU regionals today, I couldn't help but wonder why they had the casters so close to the players. In the match, Frezar versus Cupcake, or Freezar, whatever.
Frezar? I don't know.
Frezar.
I'm not going to call it Frieza, just like Dragon Ball Z. Frieza nearly misses lethal, and the casters react with the expected shock and dread before Frieza realizes his near mistake. I realize that the players cannot hear the casters, but couldn't they read their facial and body language to get a read on the current state of the game and the plays happening in front of them? Are you aware of any other countermeasures in place that perhaps is preventing the players from seeing the casters that is not apparent on the stream? P.S. Dills, go Cardinals.
All right. That's fine. We're not playing you yet, Cardinals, so I don't care about you yet.
I
care about the Pirates right
now. Personally, this doesn't bother me. I mean, I've watched a lot of StarCraft Esports, and they're in giant glass booths that can see usually thousands upon thousands of people reacting in unison to what's happening.
It's kind of tough though, because it is true that if the crowd reacts to the top deck, then you as the other player know something happened. But oftentimes, if the top deck is so important, it's going to get played whether or not,
That's a really good point.
It's not, you don't get, oh my god, he just got the top deck that's lethal. And it's like, oh man, if the other guy didn't know that it was lethal, then maybe he wouldn't have died. No, he was still going to die. Like, you don't get that for a non-important top deck that then doesn't get played. Not very often anyway. So I don't think in this tournament they could see the casters. I think that'd be silly if they could see the casters, right? Weren't they like behind them or something, or a separate room? Or I don't know. I wasn't there, so can't say for sure. But
yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, principally,
I thought they were not far away, but
well, when we did the tournament at game night, we took great pains to make sure that the casters couldn't be seen, but obviously the audience could still be seen. So
right,
there's not really much you can do about that.
Kind of usually the case with any live esport event. So
yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't.
There's only so far you can go.
Personally,
but
this doesn't bother me. I mean,
chat room is saying that yes, the players
could see them.
The casters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's a smart player, then they're going to take advantage of that situation and they're going to peek over at the casters. You know.
Well, and I mean, really, both players can see the casters, so it could be a potential advantage for either side. So
plus,
then that kind of makes it not an advantage.
Right, and plus, he's referencing specifically Frieza. He's saying.
Well, no, it's okay. So he's referencing it's during his turn,
Mm-hmm.
and they know that he has lethal, and he starts making a move that would make him not able to do the lethal. And then they're like, "Oh my God, no! What is he doing?" And then maybe he sees that, and then goes, "Oh, hold on, wait, do I have lethal?" You know, it's kind of like when you're playing on stream, and everyone in chat knows you have lethal, but you don't know it, and you're and you're like, how do I clear this board? Okay,
and you start doing your fireball hover, and they're like,
yeah. So that, I mean, and that I could see. I mean, that affects the outcome of the game. So yeah, it'd be better if that isn't the case, but it's still different than, say, somebody messaging you and telling you exactly what cards are in the opponent's hand and things like that. It's you still have to kind of read the situation. So, like in poker, if I'm playing poker and I'm across from somebody, and I really would like to see them do more tournaments where they're facing each other like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah, because I can see you, I can read your face, and if I'm really good at reading your face, that gives me an advantage. So. But
also,
you use everything, every little bit of information.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't think we've just referenced how dope the camera work was for all of this.
Oh, dude,
like
they
would cut out to the slow panning shots
until I got like the gist of what they were going for. You know, to really make you realize how intense it was.
I love the aerial shot over the circular Hearthstone themed table. Like I don't know, I got into it. I thought it was really well produced.
Yeah, it was great.
But
yeah, I want more tournaments like that where they're facing right at each other, because it really is. I think that this game benefits a lot from being able to look at your opponent straight in the eye, and that's so when we were playing Magic at game night the other day, I was just this is a blast. I watch you draw your card, and I look for a reaction.
Exactly. I mean, it is a card game at the end of the day. Yes, it's all digital. Yes, it's all on a computer or an iPad. But if you're doing a professional competitive tournament, I don't see any reason you shouldn't set it up like this, because it's in the spirit of traditional card games.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually our game night tournament was very similar in our setup. We had a circular table. We had two computers facing each other that they were both sitting at. And they could look right at each other. It was funny to watch it and be like, oh yeah, that's what we did. And we'd never run a tournament, so we were making it up as we went. But
I don't know. I think there's kind of something to be said for them not facing each other, only because for the majority of players who would have qualified through coming in like 1-16 Legend, they're used to just sitting and playing in front of their computer. They don't have all of the, I guess, like facial feature reading skills. So I don't know. I feel like that would be a huge disadvantage for people who, well, I mean, like Mr. Yagoot, who was not obviously really into the whole like streaming social aspect of Hearthstone. I imagine that was a little bit of
I'm sure it
disadvantage.
Was.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was, but
I can kind of see both sides.
But I think that we should develop a style of Hearthstone tournament play, and if you want to get into high level play, you these are skills that you will benefit from having.
Yeah, we used to talk about very similar things when it came to like the marathon sessions a lot of pro players had to do in StarCraft at certain tournaments, and then it kind of set you apart from the competition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
If you didn't crack under the pressure of a 6-hour straight.
No, that's part of it. Just making the correct play and knowing Hearthstone really well is not going to you still also have to deal with pressure. And there's a lot of players who people know are really good, and they historically have made bad decisions once the pressure is real. And that's part of playing tournaments, big tournaments.
Yeah, that's true. That is part of sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're all just playing solitaire. That's not nearly as interesting.
Hey, there's big money in Pro Solitaire, sir.
Pro Solitaire tournament. Man, everybody is tied right now. I don't know what we're gonna do about this.
Would that technically be an esports since it came pre-installed on every Windows machine since like 4.2?
You play it on your computer. It's like a Minesweeper tournament, you know? Same thing.
God, bring it on. Ski free, man. I want my ski free tournament. Let's do this. Oh, man. Hills, take the next email before I die laughing.
All right, this is from 2Vix, which is better than 1Vix, I think. And this says, hello, TAC crew. Firstly, thank you, Dills, for sharing your 50-50 theory, as it has reduced my in-game stress considerably. Okay, cool. I'm glad I could help out. I do have a question with regards to mechanics, as I was playing my Rattle Priest last night against the Secrets Mage that dropped a Kel'Thuzad. I responded with my Ragnaros that hit KT when I ended my turn. During Jaina's turn, she dropped a couple small minions in an attempt to fill the board, not knowing that the chance of Rag swinging at the face was 50-50. Correct. And then, when Jaina ended her turn, KT resurrected himself. I hit KT with my Cabal Shadow Priest, then dropped a Flame Strike that I had thought stole to clear Jaina's side of the board. Then Jaina conceded. However, the exchange left me confused. How can KT resurrect himself if he's dead? Furthermore, if you have a KT on the board and it is your turn, you can run him into anything, and if he dies, no worries, he will res when you hit the end turn button. Keep up the great work. I look forward to your future shows. P.S. What gender is the Angry Chicken card? Okay. This is a bug that has to do with end of turn effects that kill KT, and I'm pretty sure they're fixing this. Because technically, and I don't know, actually it may not be a bug, because technically KT
No, it's a bug.
died on her turn, not your turn. You ended your turn. Then it hit KT, and it was Jaina's turn. And KT's text reads at the end of the turn, it comes back. So it was technically alive at the beginning of that turn. That effect was in play, then it died, and then it came back because of that effect. I don't think that's how it should work, but
Well, no, it is a buzz.
Yeah.
A bug
buzz.
that Blizzard is working on.
Okay, cool. Because I've heard about this, but then there was some people arguing that, but this could be how it's supposed to work because it's actually Jaina's turn. But once KT's dead, KT's dead, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's one of those. It seems like it should be one of those effects that it should not be able to affect itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if it is, that needs to be detailed on the card somehow, or it's something. But I see why, like, the logic of the game is thinking that it's supposed to come back to life, because that's kind of like an aura, that KT effect, and it's just there. It's in effect. It's in play, and so it's actually Jaina's turn when KT dies. Then it comes back. So
yeah,
that's what happened there. And I guess so. Jocelyn, do you have official word from them? I haven't seen.
It's in the forums. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So there you go. It's a bug, man. Sorry, 2Vix, but it sounds like it all worked out in the end.
As far as what gender the Angry Chicken card is, it looks to me like a hen, which would make me think female.
Mm-hmm.
But then it wouldn't be the angry hen? No, I guess it's fine.
No.
'Cause chicken is
It would be the angry
asexual.
rooster if it was a boy.
That's true. So chicken's asexual. So here's the thing. I say we will never know. You're going to have to turn that card upside down and take a peek underneath and figure it out for yourself.
Cue the Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. Cue it.
It's like the, what is it, the Schrodinger's cat or something like that? Schrodinger's, what is it?
Trump in the chat room, by the way, is saying that on the forum, the verbiage they used, they said it's being investigated. He said he's not sure it's necessarily a bug.
See, that's the thing. It might be the way it's supposed to work. Because it died on Jaina's turn. Maybe. But yeah, okay, so it's like Schrodinger's cat. It's neither a man nor a woman, and it's both at the same time.
It was some crossbreeding.
So you know, that's the official
serious
answer.
talk to chicken talk.
That's the official answer.
I saw this PS as the serious question. All this business about Kel'Thuzad resurrecting to the end of turn being a bug, not a bug. Who cares about that? I want to know what sex the Angry Chicken is.
Well, that's okay. So Karma makes a good point too. I don't think they should reverse it. Rag can't kill Kel'Thuzad. Bam, there you go. It's just the ultimate counter to Ragnaros. Oh, Ragnaros, what up? I could faceless big game hunter, but nah, I'm just gonna play KT, and then you're screwed.
Nice.
I like it.
Jocelyn, would you like to take the last email?
Sure. This one comes to us from Relazine. Says, Chicken Knights. First, I love the show. Keep it coming. Here's the thing. I understand that political correctness may seem tired and worthy of an eye roll, but if people want Hearthstone, League of Legends, Dota, StarCraft, and insert fighting game title here to be taken seriously as sports, then people commentating these games should present themselves as serious sportscasters, which means behaving and speaking like professionals. You can't behave like you're posting in 4chan while expecting the public at large to take esports seriously. So that was a follow-up to our discussion. Was that just last week?
Yeah, that was last week.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, discussion about sexism and, well, gaming at large, but we obviously reference to a
But
Hearthstone-specific event.
That Hearthstone tournament.
Yeah.
That happened.
But it also, so I mean, one thing I want to say about this too is obviously every tournament has the right to run itself however they want and whatever. But just if you do and you want to have it be that kind of way, if a lot of people are there, you're going to offend some people. So just be aware of that, guys. You know, because I mean, if that's how you want to, if you want to have the misogyny open, like, then
just call it that, and then we'll know what we're getting into.
It's America, guys. You can totally do that if you want, but I personally do not like to offend people, and I think a lot of people will be turned off by that.
The next Angry Chicken tournament that we put together, the three of us will only refer to each other as Skank. Okay, but it will be equal across the board.
Wow. I did not sign on for that.
We will not just be calling Dills a Skank. All three of us will be referred to affectionately as Skank.
We'll have to put up with her
from now on.
I've gotten a lot of tweets about that. People were saying that they really agreed with what we said. I've also, some people they think, oh, PC, it's so annoying, and we ought to be PC all the time. It's like, you don't have to be, but just understand, it's not a free speech issue.
There's a time and a place. There's certain comedians I love to death, and I would be really disappointed if I went to go see them and they had a non-sexist, racist bit. Because that's what they're known for, and it makes me laugh. But I know going in, hey, this is their shtick.
Yeah.
But I don't expect that watching, Sunday football. I don't expect that from that.
Football sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You interview on the sideline.
The stuff going on in elevators with the NFL is much worse than anything we're dealing with over here. But,
but I mean, I guess the point is, it's not a free speech issue. It's that, like, when you say something and someone says, I don't like what you said, you can't say free speech, I can say what I want. It's like, yeah, but they could say what they want too, which is you're an asshole. They all get to say what they want. You may lose sponsorships and whatnot and all that stuff. So
I believe in free speech too, but I also believe in repercussion.
No, that is free. Like when somebody says something pretty terrible and then an advertiser drops out, that's not free speech. That advertiser is allowed to also use their right to free speech by saying, I don't want to support that speech anymore. That my speech doesn't agree with, It's I hate when people are like, free speech. It's like, no, you're not going to jail right now. That would make it a free speech issue. The issue is that they don't like it. They're allowed not to like it. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Done.
You can't tell me I can't like something.
I'm allowed to not like anything I want.
Exactly. I hate pickles.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. I love pickles, dude.
Can't stand them. Cannot stand them.
Really? Nope. What about pickled anything? Is it just the pickled cucumbers that you don't like? The actual pickles?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else that's pickled that I don't mind.
If you have a pickled okra in front of you, are you going to be like, nah, I don't want that?
I'm not big on okra, period, either, but I'll stomach it. Yeah, no.
That is so
like even jalapenos. I would rather have fresh, diced jalapeno than pickled jalapeno.
There's certain things that don't need to be
This
pickled.
is so delightfully off topic. Anyways.
It's great. It's going to roll us right into the after show.
Is the pickle a man or a woman? That's, I think, what we need.
Yeah. Anyway,
what you're pickling.
this is going to get into Freudian dissection of how you perceive a pickle, and I'm pretty sure there's really only one natural way this conversation is going to go, and I don't want to be part of it.
All right.
Anyway, thank you for your email.
Let you off the hook on the pickle controversy then. Picklegate will end today.
Good. There's no two other people I would rather be doing this show with. We talked about esports. We took crazy game stories. We broke down a brand new Mage deck. We took some fairly serious emails, and we end with phallic vegetable jokes.
What's phallic about pickles?
Uh,
I don't know what shapes you're accustomed to seeing, but just putting that out into the universe. Putting it out
Pickles there.
Oh,
Are all disc shaped though, right? Sweet pickles and no, never mind.
Good God. Oh, this has gotten so out of my control. I no longer take responsibility for the views and comments
the
shared on this
content
show.
of this show. Just read the next thing. You'll get him off on another topic.
Absolutely, absolutely. Which, by the way, chat room, since it's a bit of a lag, start posting some questions now. We got some time. We'll take some questions from the chat room before we end the show. But before,
yes, we do have time. That's crazy.
Before we do,
Wow.
I have a contest to mention. Got another contest coming up for you guys.
Contest.
I've gotten my hands just a couple of card games. Lost Legacy from the Alderac Entertainment Group. Alderac Entertainment was nice enough to give me many copies of their new card game, Lost Legacy, which I may have been the graphic designer on. No bias.
Only maybe.
Yeah.
I was in a haze. I don't really know what I was doing. I might have been the graphic designer there.
Possibly.
It's up in the air.
Anyways, doesn't matter. I've got a bunch of copies of this brand new card game. Just came out. So we're going to be giving away 3 copies to podcast listeners via Twitter. And we're going to be giving 3 copies away to the patrons over at patreon.com/TAC. Now I've got 3 of each. I've got 3 of the original set, Lost Legacy, the Starship, and 3 of the brand new set that just came out, Lost Legacy, Flying Garden. So it doesn't divide up equally because 6 and only 3 of each. So I'm going to do 2 of the original set and 1 of the new set to the podcast listeners, and 1 of the original set and 2 of the new set to the patrons. And it's fine because they can be played independently, or you can mix all the cards together and make a custom deck. So they work by themselves, or they work if you mix them together. So don't worry about that. You'll be able to play the game no matter which copy you win. So this is how you do it. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to enter the Twitter giveaway, tweet at TAC Podcast using the hashtag Lost Legacy. And if you want to enter for the Patreon one, there'll be a post on patreon.com/TAC. All you have to do is comment on it. It's not up yet if you're listening live, but if you're listening to this on podcast, it should be up by now. So just go leave a comment, and I'm going to pick 3 winners from both and mail you out a copy of this new card game that I got to work on. So go check it out, and big thanks to Alderac Entertainment. Which, by the way, if you're not familiar with them, if you are into competitive card games, you may have heard of Legend of the Five Rings, which is that's what they make. So go check them out because they've got tons of other awesome games. So thanks to them. Have you? Oh, look at all of these. Look at all of these questions. I'm not
Wow.
taking that first question.
I just pulled them all. So
I'm
Okay.
not taking that first question. I'm sorry.
So yeah, no, we can move past that. So somebody though, real quick, said, "Are you going to prioritize Angry Chicken over baseball?" I don't have to choose. We're doing Angry Chicken thing tomorrow, and Giants baseball game is on Wednesday, so I'm good.
Hell
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Good to go. I get to do all the things.
Rackmar wants to know, what do we recommend as the 3 best decks to ladder with in October?
In October.
Well, it's not October yet, but it will be very soon.
Well, I think you're better off having a mix if you're trying to have like 3 decks and you want to have some variety. I think you'd go well with like an aggro deck, a zoo, and then some sort of a control. So I would take maybe a control priest or paladin. If it's like a bunch of aggro you've faced, then you can actually heal up a lot and get out of range of the burn and all that. Of course, a zoo, because zoo is just going to always kind of do well.
Anytime you get burned out on your long games, just like, screw it, I'm just going to play some zoo.
Yeah, or even you could go with like the aggro rogue, or like this aggro mage, or a really aggro zoo with a lot, the leper gnomes and power overwhelmings and all that stuff. So yeah, you could go with those 3 choices. Also, of course, handlock is probably going to be pretty good, but we'll see. Handlock is good as long as there's not insane aggro going on everywhere.
I cannot handle like the stress level that comes with playing handlock regularly. I can't do it, man. It drives me nuts.
It is stressful, true, but it's also really good. So.
I know it is really good. It's a deck I really like, but like I noticed, like if I play like 7 handlock games in a row, by the end of it, I'm like in cold sweats.
Yeah,
I just can't take it, man.
It is true. Like I said, it takes heart. You got to tap. You got to tap, man.
It's just,
Don't tap on 10 cards though. Don't tap on 10 cards. Tap on 9.
what if you're looking down the barrel of a mage, man? What do you do?
Then you just I don't know. Concede.
Concede.
No, just play early. Don't sit around waiting for massive drakes and mountain giants. You got to just get stuff out there early.
Deploy that hand.
You can actually adjust your strategy with handlock, which is nice too. Like, it's not only gonna rely on you getting on mountain giants. You can, and Kalento proved this. He beat that burn mage by adjusting the strategy and playing the ancient watchers and taunting them up and silencing them and clearing the minions early, which is usually not what they do. So you can adjust.
Okay. I agreed with your answer, by the way, Dills. I don't really have anything to add to that. I think that's a good 3 mix. Jocelyn, did you have anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. Moose Man said, "Is Mage still OP in Arena? I've been seeing Warlocks kicking ass."
Yes, Warlocks are kicking ass.
Mage is still really good though.
Oh yeah,
like really
I see a ton
freaking
of
good.
mages.
Yeah,
and Hearthstats month to month has supported that. If you go check
we have
out...
not moved into a post-Mage era in the arena yet. It's pretty much defined still by one card, and that's Flame Strike. And Flame Strike just dominates because it's a slower game, and when you can do 4 damage to everything reliably for one card, it's just really good. So, but yeah, Warlocks because with Warlocks you can pick stuff like the Dread Infernal and Doomguard and stuff if you get the Void Caller, and if you get Void Callers into those things, you get free 6 mana cost cards, and you just chuck them onto the board. You're just going to take over every game. So, but I feel like Arena's been pretty balanced actually since Nax. It seems to have gotten better. Like Priest is better now. They have some better options. There's nothing. Mage is still the best, but not by as much, I don't think. So
no, it's not. I feel like it's way less of a blind pick. Whereas before, if I went into Arena and I saw Jaina Proudmoore, she was getting clicked faster than I could react.
Yeah. There was a time where it was just like, oh, I got Mage. Okay, now I go
right.
9 wins at least. Yeah. But I played that weird Hunter deck that I drafted with Jocelyn, where I had one Eaglehorn bow and I don't know 6
I was
secrets
say,
or
like
something.
5 or 6 secrets in that.
Tons
deck.
of secrets, 3 kill commands and 3 deadly shots, and I should have gotten 12 wins. Yeah, no beasts at all. I should have gotten 12 wins, but I got 11, and then I queued up for the 12th game, and then it insta left, and then I logged back in, and it said you lost your last game because of a disconnect. So I should have had 12. I was destroying everybody. So you never know with Arena. Arena is weird.
Well, that leads into the next question because Peanut in the chat room wants to know, how do you overcome a shitty Arena draft? And he said examples, no Fiery War Axes, no Flame Strikes, etc.
You have to judge what your deck might be good at and then try to make that work. If you don't have not having Fiery War Axes doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to lose. Hopefully, like if you have a really low curve with lots of 2 and 3 drops, then you just got to be aggressive, and you got to hope that you can get enough face damage in before you get overwhelmed with their big minions and you can't do it anymore. If you have a lot of late game, you have to try to clear as much as you can, stall the game out until you can get to that late game. Sometimes you just have a terrible deck though, and it's just not going to work.
From time to time, that does happen. I find that that's a rare experience though.
Yeah.
Don't.
I mean, usually it'll work somewhat if you pick.
I feel like that's a dangerous
picks.
idea just to throw out there to people because then they're not going to get their Fire War Axe and they're just going to be like, well, I guess this is that time where I just had a bad pull and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. But you can still have fun with it. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Figure out what the deck's good at and just try.
To me, that's what's most interesting about Arena is going into a game with a deck I never in a million years would have constructed unless that was my only choice. And seeing how to make that deck work for me. Yeah.
And sometimes you will find combos that you didn't even realize were going to be as good as they are. And that's pretty fun when that happens. So, I had a draft the other day and I got a legendary and my choices were, I think it was like Nat Pagel, Tinkmaster, and the Beast. And, it's like you're so stoked when you see the yellow flash and everything. And I was like, well, crap. All right, I'll make the Beast work. Well, the Beast the Beast swung twice in almost every game I played. It actually won me all my games, and I think I went like 9 or 10 or something like that. So, you know, I was sitting there like, this sucks. I got the stupid beast. They're going to big game hunter it, and it's going to pop out the Einhorn or whatever. But it didn't work out that way. Nobody could deal with it. And I was like,
It's arena, man.
9 damage to your face.
Slim chances they're going to have a big game hunter.
Yeah, true.
That's true. A lot of people aren't picking that very much.
No, you see 2 other epics? I mean, come on, man. The chances are those 2 other epics are a little more enticing.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah.
Epic. Yeah, Jocelyn. You. Oh,
This
you.
is why I'm here.
McBeard had said that he's just getting into streaming Hearthstone this week, and he wanted to know if we have any beginner tips, some do's and don'ts.
Do
not eat food into your microphone.
Don't fall asleep on the stream.
Yeah, be conscious of eating and drinking in front of your mic.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Like, my buddy Ben from A-Move Radio, he doesn't do this whenever we're streaming or when we're podcasting, but sometimes when we're just playing like casual Heroes of the Storm games, he'll just like take a big swig of something, and there's nothing more disgusting in this world than the sound of someone swallowing liquid with a headset mic jammed right next to their throat.
That's gross.
Yeah, don't do it.
So don't do that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and personally, I feel like this doesn't need to be said anymore, but it used to be a thing, but I'll say it anyway. Commentary, talk about what you're doing. It's really boring to just have just a head just sitting there playing.
Yeah.
I was going to say engage with your chat room. Like even if
Exactly.
you only have 2 or 3 people, those chat rooms are always the ones that are the most fun because you can sit there and actually chat to the player.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get into these chat rooms of thousands of people, like they don't know you're there. They can't really talk to you. They do the best they can, but it's really, really tough. But if you're in a chat room and you only have, 5 or 10 people, you can get some really meaningful conversations going, and they might point things out that you didn't see anyways, So it's a learning learning experience for both sides.
Yeah. But read your chat for sure. Also, don't do the creepy thing where when everybody comes into your stream, because when you're starting out, you might not have a lot of people. I remember one time I just clicked on a stream that only had like 7 people or something, and I just was like, just see what's going on here. And the guy was like, "Hey, welcome Willie Dills SF," and I was like, "I'm out. I didn't want to be noticed. I just wanted to come in and watch. If I want to be noticed, I would have said something." So yeah, be careful. Don't do that. It's weird. He had some program that told him exactly, or he had the list up or something. I don't know. Whatever.
So Dills applies his same rules to watching a stream as a lot of people do to going into an adult store. Just like, oh no, they noticed me. I'm
I don't want to be
leaving.
noticed here.
I'm done. I didn't want to. I just ran into my professor from college. This is done. I'm leaving. We're out.
Oh my god! You
Abort.
guys ever see the Louis episode where he goes to buy a sex toy, and then he's super awkward about it, and he goes up and he's like, "Oh well, I need a whatever," and then he goes, and something like pulls something in his back, and he just hurt, and then he has to leave. But he's oh my god!
I have not seen that one.
Situations. Yeah, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I've missed a lot of episodes of Louis. I need to get caught up. That's a good
it was
show.
Insanely funny. All right, anyway.
Oh, I'm trying to, let's see. Zalindor in the chat room wants to know what makes Zombie Chow good. I put it in Dex just because the net says so. Well, there's your first problem.
Yeah, you should probably listen to their evaluation. And
blind net decking is always bad.
Yeah, you need to understand how the deck works. And I mean, there's a certain value in just making a deck that the net says is good and then trying it, but it's also really good to read up on it. But well, Zombie Chow is good because it's a 1-mana 2/3. That's why it's good.
It's good for board control. You don't necessarily want to swing at the face because then as soon as it dies, it's just going to undo everything you did. So it's more board control than face damage.
Yeah. Like why is a Flame Imp really good? Because it's a 1-mana 3/2. It's like it deals damage to you, sure, but you get an insane amount of stats for the mana cost, and you can smooth out curves really well. It's just it's really nice to be able to pay 1 mana and get a decent body on the board. And oftentimes at the beginning of the game, when you do get a chance to play it, it doesn't actually heal them at all because they're at full health. So, yep.
I got really, this is slightly off topic, but slightly on topic as well. I got really excited cracking my my Cons of Tarkir Magic packs this past weekend because I don't remember what the name of this damn card is because I don't have them in front of me at the moment. But I'm like, all right, it's a 4/4 for 3. what?
Yeah,
This
Magic,
is
that's
amazing.
insane, too, because
That's
they're usually-
amazing. And then I read the text, and it says this card is sacrificed after it attacks or blocks. I'm like, oh,
It's one attack.
that's
and one block.
why. Okay. Now there's,
Wow.
I'm sure some decks where we're having things in your graveyard is a positive, and that wouldn't be a terrible card to have. But
Sure.
that was not the deck I was playing. So I was a lot less excited about that. So
It's
There
it's
is that.
taken me a while to adjust to the Magic values because they are different. You get more stats for your bang or for your mana in more bang for your buck in Hearthstone than you do.
yeah,
in
that's
Magic.
why the vanilla test came out of Magic, because it holds a lot more sway there.
Yeah.
No. Joe Brewer says, with Naxx completed as a release, do you worry some players who did not purchase it may feel they are not able to compete as others?
Mm.
I mean,
To a certain extent, yeah.
there
Were some pretty good cards that came out of that release.
Yeah, but it's also, what's the alternative? Not put out new
Not
stuff?
put out new cards. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's always going to be that in a card game that you need cards to play.
Mhm.
You know, it's just kind of the deal. Yeah, and you can earn them without paying any money. It's just going to take some time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what Kyle from Into the Nexus is doing.
And
I-
how many wings has he opened at this
I
point?
haven't talked to him about Hearthstone in a while, because we usually talk about that on A Move Radio, and since Ben's been out of town, we haven't done it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure. But
Okay.
this week Heroes is down, so
Oh, so there you go. He'll be
we're
playing.
gonna
yeah.
play some Dota, and I'm gonna pick his brain about his Hearthstone life. So
I have not
Ah.
played Heroes in a little while. I heard something about like all the heroes are available or something. Is that-
that's because as of tomorrow, Heroes is going offline for over a week as they take it off of the alpha servers
Oh, okay.
and move it to the live servers.
Interesting.
So yeah, that won't be the case anymore.
Yeah, got it.
I would recommend though, Dills, if you haven't played, get in tonight and try Chen out. He's really fun.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about him for
Yeah.
sure.
He's a blast. The model Martel wants to know if Arena should have better rewards.
I think they're pretty good. I mean, I feel like if you get to 4 wins or so, you're actually breaking even.
Hmm. I don't even know if it's 4. It might be
Maybe
as
even
low as 3.
Yeah, but I mean, you're but you're getting a pack that's 100 gold and then
Mhm.
50 gold worth of other stuff.
Yeah.
So you actually break even, at a very low rate. And then everything above that is kind of profit. So even though you're not breaking even on just the money, you get the pack. So,
Hmm.
I think it's fine. I think it's where it's supposed to be, because they need to have it at a certain level where people will pay some money, because they need to make some money off the game.
Mhm.
But if you concentrate on it and you make it a priority to get good at, you can be infinite fairly easily, I think.
Hmm.
It's just something you got to put effort into. That's all.
Yeah. Explode77 asked if we think there will be an ICC expansion. Please say yes. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, there will. I
There's
don't know
no
when.
way you
Eventually.
don't do an
There will.
Arthas-themed set of Hearthstone cards. It doesn't happen. That's like doing something in Star Wars in the original timeline and leaving out Darth Vader. You just
Yeah.
don't do it.
No. We will. Arthas will make. I mean, he's actually in some of the artwork for stuff. Like, you've seen him. I think in the intro video, you actually glimpse him really quickly. He kind of flies by.
Jeez,
So-
man, that's
I think
you
you're
know,
right. Yeah.
That's really relieving. I think I almost made it through the whole episode without making a Star Wars reference. I almost missed that one. I'm really glad I snuck that in there. Whew,
Now, okay,
close.
Garrett, the new ones, right?
Mhm.
Is Revan at all a part of any of that later stuff, or is he way before? I can't remember.
Revan was from the Knights of the Old Republic.
And that's way before,
Stuff.
correct?
Yeah. You're like,
We're not going to see him. I
I-
want to see him in a movie.
I
live
don't
action
believe
movie.
so.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I know nothing
I
about
thought
the
so
older.
too. I thought
I-
he was way before.
I actually
so.
have not played KOTOR. Yeah, all I played is the MMO. I didn't play
Okay.
KOTOR or KOTOR 2.
Yeah.
So
He's a badass man. Just
I'm
read about
not.
him.
Yeah, I'm not really. Okay, yeah. Explode in the chat room is confirmed.
But so I
Revan
know
was from
that
KOTOR.
he didn't come from the movie lore. He came from the video game lore. But
Yep.
I just want to know if that timeline was.
Dagfish in the chat room says, "Well, Star Wars Rebels suck." I hope not. It doesn't look like it's gonna suck.
Please don't suck.
I am excited as hell for Star Wars Rebels. I can't wait to see that. Premieres next week, I think.
Please don't suck.
I can't wait to see that, man. I loved Clone Wars, so I'm all for it.
Oh, Clone Wars was so good.
It really was. The last season is so disappointing, though.
Well, yeah.
Awesome fight between Darth Maul and the Emperor, and ends in a cliffhanger, and then you never hear from him again. Thanks, guys. Thanks. How can I not play KOTOR? Because I didn't have a computer at the time, and nor did I have an Xbox. That's how I could not play KOTOR.
Makes sense.
And when I finally got KOTOR,
You can play it now, though. I think you can get it on an iPad and stuff.
Oh,
now.
I have it on. I got it on a Steam sale for like 50 cents, and I can't get it to run. It's like
really?
a buggy mess.
Wow.
It's really dated now, though.
The
I mean, it
PC
was
port
really
is a
fun
nightmare.
Then, but you play it now, and it's like, okay, there's better games.
Yeah, but you know what? I can play like Diablo 1 with no problem. I don't know why the KOTOR 1 PC port is such a hot mess, but I can't get it working.
Hey, get it on the iPad. It's on the iPad.
Yep. What did I pick for the cons pre-release? I went Abzan. I'm loving Outlast, man. I get to play like go a little longer game in my Magic, which I love.
You like a long Magic game,
Don't get me started on the new Magic set. I'm loving it to
then Commander
pieces.
decks are for you, Garrett.
I am loving it to pieces.
40 life, 100 cards. Let's go.
It's great. It's great. Anyways,
Do you have Magic Online, Garrett?
yeah, I don't play it as nearly as much as I do Paper Magic, but
Do you know how to change the little timer thing?
Oh yeah, how do you change the timer
What?
thing for friendly games?
I don't. I only ever log into MTGO to play a draft, so I don't know.
No.
Because we were trying to play our Commander deck against each other, but it gives it like an automatic 25-minute timer. And that
It's
is
not long
nearly long enough. You don't know.
I read really fast, and I can't read that fast.
I don't
You
know.
have to think. I mean, when you're playing, you don't know these cards. You reread them over and over. You know, so
Or you just throw them out and hope something works.
I don't
doesn't-
know what to tell
there's
you.
no time limit choice when you game request. There is when you're setting up like a lot. I guess I have to set up a lobby or something.
Oh, maybe.
If my Australian buddy Kino is listening, tweet at Dills and Jocelyn. Tell them how to fix this.
Sure.
Anyways,
I don't know. I kind of like it's like the rope is there all the time.
Yeah, that's true. It's
That's
like
all.
start the game with a rope going.
Yeah.
Imagine how stressful that would be.
I'll take one last question, then we'll move on. Vorderun asked, now that we've had some time to digest the Naxxramas cards, which cards from Nax do we like the most?
Sludge Belcher, and
Not that you
Actually,
not
I
that
hate
are
Sludge
not that are
Belcher,
clearly the best. Which ones do you just like the most?
actually, okay, then not Sludge Belcher because I friggin' hate that card. Every time someone puts it down, it's like, oh my god. I gotta get-
Clearly, Sludge Belcher and Lotheb are the correct answers, but we're talking about your feeling, man. Don't be a robot.
I like KT. He's fun. He's
Yeah.
fun to play with.
Even when he comes back to life because Ragnar's hit it.
Okay, well, not because of the bug, just because it brings everything back.
Not a bug. They're investigating.
I think that makes it even more fun because I love weird crap like that. So
That is weird. I'd see. Technically, it could be correct too. I'm gonna say Mad Scientist because it makes unplayable cards playable again, and it's
not again, just period for the first time ever.
Yeah, I like that.
I was gonna say web crawler, but I thought everyone would get mad at me for going default hunter.
But no, that's a fun card. That's fun as hell. I actually
It is
considered
fun.
making gold web crawlers the other day, and then I was like, or web spinners. Why'd you call it web crawler?
Oh, because chat room said web.
Web spinner.
I wasn't
I
paying attention.
considered making web spinners golden ones, but then I was like, I'm not gonna play Hunter right now. So, when I pick up Hunter again, I will.
Yeah, I really like Undertaker. I love the doors that open for Priest and all these Death Rattle decks.
Might be a problem right now.
Yeah, and
It's very close to being a problem at this moment.
please don't change it.
Duplicate.
I'm
Please
okay.
don't change it.
I really just like there being a card that's just straight up good. I'm okay with that. Let's just keep it in there. Don't change Lothab. Don't change Undertaker. Let's just keep him in there. And also,
For science!
Exactly.
there you go.
Much better than I did it.
Anyways, I think that'll do it for this week's episode. As always, want to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/TAC. This week, I wanted to thank just Mike. Didn't give any less initials, so thank you, Mike. Thank you, Alex L. Thank you, Gabriel C., Matthew Z., Clark M. Thank you all very much for supporting the Anger Chicken over at patreon.com/TAC. And hopefully, we'll hear from some of you guys tomorrow at the during the patron call-in episode. Which we'll be doing. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're not a patron, we'll still be streaming it live right here. If there's a gap between calls, we'll still take questions from the chat room, so come and hang out. And if you are a patron, go over to the Patreon page and make sure that we have you in our Skype so that we can take a call from you. Also want to thank those of you who are leaving us reviews in the iTunes store. Except that 1-star guy, seriously, enjoy living in your mom's bedroom, basement, whatever.
I'll leave him alone.
You know, he's so
fine.
angry, he probably is living in his mom's bedroom even. That's probably why he's so
He
angry.
was not a nice person, but he's probably got problems.
He was not a nice person at all. It wasn't a
I
review.
haven't read this review, and I don't know if I should.
It was pretty much the equivalent
imagine
of...
if you were him. It's got to be a terrible existence. So just be happy that it's not. You don't have to.
I just don't want to thank that guy. I just want to tell you, I pity you. To everyone else, though, thank you very much. Thank you to Momo Fire. Thank you to HT Owner. Thank you to Pock Nicky. D-Day Drazen, our buddy from Heroes of the Storm. Thank you very much. Who also now, his team is sponsored, I believe, in Heroes. So
Nice.
big congrats to you,
I heard
D-Day.
that. Yeah, he hit me up the other day on Skype to let me know. So
Yeah, big congrats to him, and good luck. I believe he's playing in, what is the league called? There's 2 leagues going on right now. I always get confused, but he's playing one of them. So good luck to him. And thanks to Mouse Divided, who said this show is so great. I'm angry. Jocelyn, is there anyone from Canada this week?
Yes, apparently in Canada, my cat glows.
That's the person's name.
That's the person's name. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm pretty sure they're on Twitter tweeting at us on a fairly regular interval.
Oh,
I
really?
feel like I
Maybe
remember a
it's
my cat
cute.
glows
I don't
and,
recognize
and their avatar is like a glowing green cat. So
Well, yeah,
I
have to
could
be.
be wrong. Hopefully that's the same person. Even if it isn't, that your avatar is awesome. So enjoy that. As always, The Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv and the Frog Pants Studios over at frogpants.com. Email us at tacpodcast@gmail.com. All of our past live shows and other videos like coaching VODs and whatnot can be found on youtube.com/StarcastShow. Yes, it has nothing to do with amove or The Angry Chicken. I can't change the YouTube URL. Deal with it. Get the Angry Chicken t-shirt over at slashloot.com. Make sure you spell out the word slash and not just do an actual slash, or you will not get the right website.
I was trying to put in a little tiny picture of Slash like they do on the Conan
On the
O'Brien
Conan show,
but it wasn't working. Yeah.
I'm glad you made that reference and not me, because I love that. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast. Catch us live every Monday night right here on twitch.tv/amovetv at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, or on the mobile live stream over at alphageekradio.com. And check out BrianGriffithMusic.com for the musician who made our intro music, Brian Griffith. We thank him for that. Dills, where can folks find you when you're not talking about Hearthstone? Or probably when you are talking about Hearthstone.
Yeah. Likely it'll be, if I'm streaming, it's probably talking about Hearthstone. You can find me there, Twitch/WillyDillsSF, and also, of course, the instance on Friday mornings talking about the World of Warcraft. We did one on Saturday this week, and it was really fun. Still no T, missed that guy, but he should be back soon. I'll be doing the Torturecast after this show, and recently a couple new MJ videos went up. We're gearing up for the World Championships again. We've got, I think, 130 people signed up for the World Championships, which is crazy. That's by far the most we've ever had. So 130 extremely drunk guys playing golf in the desert. Should be good times. And of course, also game night. I know Jastan is going to be there on Thursday. I will also be there. I'll bring my Magic cards. If you live in the Bay Area, come out. San Francisco, Folsom Street Foundry, 10th and Folsom, 6 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. I won't be there tomorrow, but I'll be there on Thursday. So come on by, people. Let's hang out. Let's play some stuff. All the stuff. We'll play Magic. We'll play Hearthstone. We'll do all the stuff. It'll be good.
Dills, I just want to put this out there. You know, the next time the T doesn't show up to the instance, I can do a mad British accent.
Oh yeah,
and,
you can do it. Okay.
And
well,
on a more
to hit you
serious
up.
note, may have always dreamed of showing up on that show once or twice. So
well, that doesn't seem like that
just
far-fetched to me.
Nudge Scott once or twice, because I'm not saying it was the first podcast I ever listened to and possibly led to everything I'm now doing.
Could be though.
But it could be. It could be that. That might be a true statement. So
yeah,
That's what happened to me on Current Geek.
So
Made me freak out a little.
I had so much fun on Current Geek. As opposed to the time I was on Forecast, which is my most embarrassing podcast experience, because I thought I did a terrible job on that show.
Oh yeah. I was on that show too. That show demands a lot of you as a guest.
Does it? Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I'm not alone on that. Like I remember getting the invite and just being stoked as hell, because I'm like, all right, I've done a couple shows with Scott. That's fine. But Tom and Scott are like the podcast archon for me. These are the two guys that I listened to and got me into this whole medium. And so I'm like, cool, going on the show. And then they're like, you need to come up with a crazy mother effing prediction. like
Yeah.
crazy.
It's the predictions thing. You gotta, you gotta bring it.
And so I'm just sitting there, just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do.
Like, am I funny? I'm not funny, am I? Oh,
it's
I'm
too
sorry.
much freedom. It's the equivalent of getting like a freelance job for a logo and them just being like, do whatever you want. Like, no, give me some guidance. Do whatever.
You're
I want.
funny, Garrett. Don't worry.
Yeah.
People
Hilarious.
like you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Jocelyn, where can folks find you?
Best way is probably on Twitter. I'm at GIS Gamer. I also do the Gamers In right here on AMove TV every Friday night. We also do game night where we stream with the community on Thursdays. And we're gearing up for Extra Life, which I'm super stoked for. That's October 25th. It's the 24-hour gaming marathon. It was 25 hours last year, and now it's on the 25th, so it's really throwing me off.
Yeah.
But yeah, 24-hour gaming marathon. Super, super excited. It's for, I'm playing for Sick Kids Toronto, and it's going to be great.
Badass. Make sure everyone go over there and check that out and
Oh,
support.
wait. We're doing a thing on the 4th, right?
Oh, yeah. I did not forget about that.
Sure.
Because
doesn't benefit-
is the international sign of I remembered.
It doesn't benefit. It benefits lots of awesome people, which is
It does. It's the AIE Gameathon. Yeah. So they're raising money to make the Guild Hall at BlizzCon a thing again. So we're organizing a Hearthstone tournament. So if you guys go to the Frog Pants store, you can actually buy into the tournament. And there's, I believe, only a couple spots left. So just go to the main buy a slot in the Gameathon page, and then there's a drop down at the bottom, and you have to choose the Angry Chicken. And we're going to do an 8-man tournament with Dills and I. So it should be good.
You might get to play me. You might get to play Jocelyn. We'll see.
You never know.
Trust me, you want to draw me instead of Jocelyn. She's going to destroy you.
Never know. It's 50-50.
50-50. That's true.
All right, well, go do that. You can find me on the internet, on Twitter, at GarrettArt. I'm at nomoonart.com for my graphic design portfolio. And you can find me on Into the Nexus, the Heroes of the Storm podcast, which has taken this week off, but make sure to tune into the YouTube for a video of Kyle and I playing Dota in the Heroes downtime. So
Ooh, that sounds
go
fun.
enjoy that, because I am bad at that game. And if you ever wanted a beginner's look at Dota, I'm your man, because there's no way you can be worse.
Yeah, well, you can't be worse than I was when you tried to show me how to
That
play.
is true.
Kyle was like, go over here. And I was like, where's over here? I don't even know what over here is. He's like, go to the store. What store?
There's a
Why
store?
Is there a store here?
I don't see a Kmart sign, dude. What are you talking about?
He's like, it's in the bushes. Oh, it's in the bushes. Okay.
I thought that's where you went to pee.
It's like, you have to eat the tree to get health. Why would I have to eat a tree to get health? That's stupid. It was quite
Because this was
intimidating.
built out of what was available in Warcraft 3, and that's all you could do. Deal with it.
Yep.
Check out our sponsors, doghouse-systems.com. Use the code TAC to get double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig for no additional charge, and you'll support the Angry Chicken in the process. Also, check out the Angry Chicken Special Edition rig while you're over there. We thank them for their support. We thank you all for listening, and we will see you all next week for episode 48 of the Angry Chicken. See you then. Job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!